afraid of dying? My daughter asked me when she came to visit last Sunday. It took me back. I had to stop and think. Warning, if you're uncomfortable with talking about death, this may not be the video for you. I too was uncomfortable answering the question. This is Sue from Aging Joyfully. Death is a subject that we stay away from in America. Even though it is a natural part of life, we don't talk about it. What led her to ask me this question? No, I'm not sick. 1 week ago today, we had a violent storm that came up quickly with no warning. Steve was at work, as he is right now. And I have been working around the house all day and my knee was hurting. I had planned on a quiet, relaxing evening. As soon as I sat down, I heard a loud boom and followed by total silence. I thought it sounded like our air conditioner had broken. I thought I would go outside to make sure it wasn't struck by lightning. It wasn't even raining just a minute earlier. It had been getting increasingly dark for the last hour. I looked out the window and saw hail, tiny pieces of hail, which scared me because we had lived in Alabama and went through many tornadoes. We weren't in the middle of them, but we were pretty close to some of them. Right then, I noticed my daughter had texted. She said they were going to the basement, the sirens were going off. I could not hear the sirens at my house, and they were only 10 minutes away from me. The only place I have to go is under the stairs. We don't have a basement here. The dogs were crazy. They were upstairs, and I was unable to get them to come down. I went to under the stairs with the door open, and I called Steve, who was at work far away. I said, "Do you hear of a tornado coming here?" And he said, "No." I said, "I'm under the stairs now, but I don't know how long to stay. I don't know when to get out." He had to go back to work. So I stayed under the stairs with the door open, listening for the storm. And then I thought, dogs, I'm a logical person. So I thought, dogs know best. If they were really a tornado, they'd be down here with me. They wouldn't be upstairs. They know that it's not a real tornado, although trees are a real threat. I saw the lights flickering since the whole thing started, and I thought, we're about to lose power, and it could be for a long time. I knew this was a bad storm. I had not eaten dinner, and my new diet required me to heat up most foods. So I thought, I better eat dinner before we lose the power. I went and got dinner, ate it quickly, and was deciding what to do when I heard a voice. It was Steve. I was thinking to myself, where is he? He's at work. How do I hear his voice? He was speaking to me through our echo. He was asking me if I was on the phone. I looked down and he had called me repeatedly, but I guess my ringer was off and he was nervous because I wasn't answering. I called him and told him I was fine. The bulk of the storm was over. It was now just raining. My son and daughter-in-law and daughter experienced many trees down. Their neighbor's house was hit by a tree that went partially through the house in their son's bedroom. He was not hurt. My son and daughter-in-law's fence had 2 panels knocked down. Trees were down everywhere, lights were out, power poles were out. Turns out we had 90-mile-an-hour winds, although it was not labeled a tornado. Hundreds of trees had come down. Roofs were damaged along with fences. Thankfully, I did not hear of any deaths, but I still, 1 week later, hear the chainsaws of people cutting the trees that have fallen. So I go back to the question, am I afraid of death? In that moment, I told my daughter, I believe anybody who finds himself in a violent storm fears death at that moment. That's not the exit they had planned. We didn't even know we were going to have a storm that day. If I had been sick for years and could plan my death, maybe I would come to terms with it. But in that particular moment, yes, I was afraid of death. Comment below what you think. I may do one more video on death, but like I said, our culture doesn't embrace the thought. They just like to avoid all conversations of it. My mother was sick for 7 years, and we still didn't talk about her impending death. We never talked about it. All the conversations we didn't have. Because why? It was unacceptable? We can't go back and get those conversations. We can't know what she thought of, what she was afraid of. We never even accepted her death. Even though she was sick for 7 years, we were shocked when she actually died. We thought she was just going to continue to be sick for a long, long time. Take care of yourself, hug your family, tell them what you think, tell them you love them, and treasure them. Who knows when that storm will come along. Until I see you again, take it easy.